Hello everyone and welcome to ABE Live. I'm Sylvain Chauvet, Communication Manager at ABE. And first, really sorry for this delay start. It's due to a streaming software issue, so we are here now, so it's a good thing. So for your new microbiology rendezvous today, we are going to talk about media preparation. And because we never change a winning team, I'm here today with Nastasia. Hello, Nastasia.
Hello, Sylvain. Hello, everyone. So yes, my name is Nastasia. I am product manager here at ABE, and I'm really happy to be with you today.
Same for me. Thank you, Nastasia. So first, we will have a look on the program of today. We will talk first about media preparator versus autoclave to do the media preparation, differences between the two methods. Then we will talk about ABE range for the media preparators, so the MEDIAWEL range. Then we will have as a short break video testimonial, and of course we will have a product reveal today. So just before starting, I will remind you the idea of this online session. I will ask some questions to Nastasia. I have my little cards here. But the idea is you can also, of course, ask questions. You have for this, and you already use it due to the issue first, like a chat box where you can write your questions. We will receive it at any time, and we will be able to answer it at any time. So really don't hesitate to use it. And last thing, we have a subscriber counter here in this room. It will make a little noise and go up each time someone hits the subscribe button on our YouTube channel.
So maybe we should set up a new challenge for this session.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What do you think?
Okay, many of you already hit it, but I think we can do more. Let's say 10 more.
Okay, that's a really good challenge, but yeah, we can succeed. We trust you to succeed this challenge. And you can also click on the bell to receive any notification when we have a new video on our YouTube channel. So now I think we are really ready to start. Nastasia, my first question is, what are the different ways to prepare culture media today?
Well, Sylvain, when you go in a lab today, and some of you will recognize their own processes, you have two main ways to produce a media. The first one is the manual one using an autoclave, and the second one is the automated one using a media preparator.
There are probably a lot of differences between these two methods. For example, how many steps are necessary to prepare media with an autoclave?
Well, when you go with an autoclave, the first step is to weight the powder on a separate balance. Then you will add the right amount of sterile water, the right volume, and then you will need to heat and to mix these ingredients together. So whether you can use a pot or you can use a laboratory stirrer, magnetic stirrer, to do so. And then this liquid will need to be poured into a flask or a bottle. This process will be repeated as many times as necessary to finish with the volume of media you need for your analysis. These bottles, in the end, they will be all put into an autoclave for sterilization and then distributed, knowing that each bottle has been a little bit differently preparated, so you may also have some quality variation between them.
Okay. And on the other side, what if we use a media preparator?
Well, the interest with the media preparator is that you only have one vessel, so you only need to pour once the powder, once the sterile water, to get in the end the right amount of media. And this is particularly true when you use such conditioning of powder, because you have the bulk powder that you will weight, or you can have the pre-dosed to do 10 liters, 20 liters, 30 liters directly, so you just put it into it. The big difference is that you will have only one batch of media, so the quality will be standardized.
Great. And how long does a preparation takes for each method?
Well, with the autoclave, you already have this pre-preparation step, which is already quite long, and then you need to do sterilization and distribution. knowing that in the autoclave, for most of them, you don't have any fast cooling system, so you need to wait for the temperature to go down naturally. So it means that it will take around 2 hours. When with a media preparator, you have a fast cooling system. So first, it will depend on the volume you prepare. If you go for 1 liter, for example, it will take around 50 minutes. And if you go for 30 or for 50 liters, it will take around 90 minutes. And then, thanks to the fast cooling system, you will be able to distribute at the right temperature in 15 or 20 minutes maximum.
Okay. And now, what about the media mixing, which is also really important? How does it work in each method?
Well, with the autoclave, it's very simple. There is no system to have a continuous homogenization of the media during the cycle. It's not possible to put a mixing system in each bottles. So it will only be done previously with the pot or with the blending. With the media prep, it is different because you have a stirrer inside the vessel which will be able to homogenize continuously during the preparation, but also during the distribution, the whole media.
And what about the temperature?
Yeah, the temperature, it's also a difference between these two methods. If you go for the autoclave, you have a temperature probe, and that's the same in the media preparator. But in the autoclave, it is inside the chamber of the autoclave. So it means that it is monitoring the air of the chamber. When in the media prep, it will be located inside the vessel, right at the very heart of the media, so you will be able to monitor its real temperature.
So it's pretty clear that with an autoclave, it's not possible to get the traceability of the media temperature, right?
Well, on a standard basis, you will get the traceability of the air temperature. If you want to get the one from the media itself, you will need to add some external probes in the bottles.
Okay. And do we need other specific material when we use one or the other method once again?
Well, with the manual method, of course, we've said it, you will need an autoclave, but you will also need a laboratory magnetic stirrer, and you will also need a flask, an amount of flask that can be quite large according to the volume of media you need. Without forgetting that these flasks, you will need to clean them afterward, which is again enlarging the time the media preparation will take. When you go with the media prep, you will only have one vessel, only the media preparator.
Okay. So to sum up this first part, thanks Nastasia, we can see that there are several advantages to go for a media preparator to do the media preparation. First, the simplified preparation, the better media quality with better homogeneity, and also the temperature traceability, which is more precise, right?
Exactly, it's a good sum up. And I'd also like to point out a link with the standards, the ISO standard 7218, which actually gives definitions for every kind of devices in the lab. And it has two interesting different definitions for the media prep and for the autoclave. Autoclave, you see it here, it's a device made for microorganism destruction. So when you do so, you need to heat up to a certain level of temperature. But if you go higher, it's not a problem. And this means that usually in autoclave, you will find temperature variations that can go up to 2 or 3 degrees. And this means a lot when you go in an autoclave for media preparation, because the media is sensitive to temperature variations. And if you go too high, you may kill the main components of the media, like the peptones, for example, and this will have a direct impact on the quality of your media and particularly its fertility. When, on the other side, you also have the definition of the media preparator, and you saw it just before. The media preparator is a device which is made for
media preparation.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just it.
So after the theory, the practice, we will now be able to handle a media preparator. We have one just here. So this one is the MEDIAWEL 30. It's the occasion to see that's an easy whirling system. You just convinced me to use a media preparator.
And that's a good thing.
Yes. But concretely, how does it work?
Well, when you arrive in the morning in the lab, first you need to switch on the machine on the side. You'll need to open it, to add the powder. So as we said, you have the bulk powder or you have the pre-dosed, pre-weighted powder directly inside the vessel. You add the water, close the media prep, and launch the good program, and you're good to go.
Okay, easy.
Yeah.
You talked about the mixing system. Can you show it?
Yes, sure. So we talked about the importance of the continuous homogenization for the media preparation. And here in the MEDIAWEL, it is done with this stirrer. So you see it is quite large actually, and it has been designed to have the same quality of media, whether you're doing small batches or large batches. It's also important whether you're doing diluent or doing media agar to have no bubble, no lumps. So you will really have a good quality of media no matter what.
Okay, great. So now let's imagine I'm in my daily routine in my lab. How do I start the cycle to prepare the media?
Well, once all ingredients are inside the vessel, you will have to go to the touchscreen of the machine. So here you have a different menu and you have cycle and programs. Programs is the list of programs that you would have presetted before. And here you will be able to select the program you want to launch. So here, for example, let's say we're going to do some peptone water. So we select it. And it will be then just a series of questions and answers that need to be answered, of course. The first one being the operator. This is if you do the traceability of the operator. So you will have access to the list here. So you can select with the arrows the good name. Then we'll go next.
I'll just stop you 1 second. We have 5 more subscribers, so
nice.
Really thank you. It's the middle of the challenge, so that's really good.
Keep on.
Keep on, yes.
So after the operator, you have to fill in the batch number for the traceability. What is usually done is that you will use the batch number which is indicated on the powder, adding an extra info about the date or maybe the lab that produced it. So here, let's say 1, 2, 3.
Why this is important to put this batch number?
Well, this is to comply with quality standards, because if there is any question about the media itself, you will be able to go back to the manufacturer of the powder to answer it.
Okay.
So after the batch number,
I just stop you 1 more second.
Yeah.
We have the first question. So thank you for your question. How many programs can be stored in the machine?
So you can have up to 50 programs in the machine, as well as the users, by the way. Good.
Good.
So let's move on. The next question the MEDIAWEL asks you is the volume you are going to prepare at that cycle. So you see here, you always have here values, the minimum and the maximum range that will regulate the values in the field. So here it's telling you that you can do minimum 2.5 and maximum 30 liters. So let's say we go for 30. Up. And it is done. From here, the only thing I need to do is to press on the green tick and the cycle will start automatically.
Okay, quick and easy. But this is if I want to start the cycle right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what about programming the start? Personally, I like to have my coffee ready when I wake up in the morning. Is it possible to do the same in the laboratory? I mean, when I arrive in the morning in the lab, the media can be ready to be dispensed?
Yeah, it's possible. In that case, instead of pressing on the green tick, as I told you, you will go on the clock here, and the clock will open a new screen where you will be able to put the date and the time where you want it to start. So here we'll go for up. I will pre-program the delayed start for the next minute, so we can have it up. And the next screen is start the cycle at date and time.
Okay, it was
Sorry,
really quick.
it was quick.
It was the minute after. So it means that I can program, for example, the day before.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of customers working this way. So for example, they have internal protocols that they validated, and they decided to make it go at like 7 p.m. so that when they arrive at 5 a.m. in the morning, the machine will be on distribution mode waiting for them. or they will decide to make it go later, like at midnight, for example, so that when they arrive, the cycle just stopped and they can start the distribution.
Okay, so we were just at the beginning stopped by this delay start, so it proved that the My Media can be ready when I arrive in the morning.
Exactly like your coffee machine, Sylvain.
What else? Really good coffee. By the way, I was thinking about one more question. What if there is an electrical failure during the cycle? What happens?
Well, it's very simple to mimic here in front of the camera, because an electrical failure is basically switching off and switching on the machine during the cycle. So this is what I am going to do right now. And once it will be back on track, the machine is going to check in its memory where it was during just before the cut. So it will say, okay, I was at this step and I will start back exactly at this step. With one difference for the sterilization step, because we want the media to go through 121 degrees during the 15 minutes. So to ensure this, it will start only at the beginning of this step. And here it goes back again.
Okay, great. Now I would like to go further into traceability. As we know, it's really important today for laboratories. What's available with the MEDIAWEL?
Well, with the MEDIAWEL, the first possibility will be the USB key. So on the side here, there is a USB port where you can put a USB key. And at the end of each cycle, the machine will automatically export a PDF report. So here I will just stop the cycle so that it tries to export. And because I have no USB key on the machine, it offers this message inviting us to add the USB key and to start again the export. The idea is that you cannot lose the traceability. The machine will always look after it. This PDF report gathers all the needed information about the cycle. So first you have, sorry, bad weather lady. So first, at the upper part, we have the general information about the cycle. So you have date, time, you have the operator, the number and the name of the programs, and so on. Then you have all the information linked to the cycle itself. So you will see the time and temperature curves. You'll see how it went. You will see minimum and maximum temperature. All the informations that are necessary for the quality manager to, at the very bottom of the report, sign and validate the batch of media. Okay,
so more interesting than the weather. We have one more question just to, before we continue. If we need to add a supplement at the end of the cycle, how we do it?
You're actually anticipating the next parts of the live, so if you don't mind, we will just wait. I will show you where and how to add supplements.
But anyway, thank you for your question. And just be...
don't hesitate.
Yeah, sure. So this PDF we just saw gives you all important information about the batch produced, but does the machine offers other possibilities?
Yes, there is a second option to get the traceability, and it is when you connect the MEDIAWEL to your local network in the lab. So it can be done by Wi-Fi or by cable, and thanks to this, you will have access to the lab page. This is what you're seeing right now. This is a real-time access to the data of your MEDIAWEL and of the ongoing cycle. Here we have a MEDIAWEL running downstairs for tests from the production, and this is its lab page you're seeing right now.
Okay, interesting. But same question as before, same kind of question. If there is a web connection failure, can you still access to this lab page?
Well, actually the lab page, it's like a mini server that is hosted directly into the media prep. So it has no link with the internet. It's really your local network inside the lab. So if you have an internet failure, it won't affect your access to the traceability. You will always have access to it.
Okay. So to sum up this topic, if I am a user and I start a cycle, I can go somewhere else and do something else and still keep an eye on my cycle. From my PC
Yeah.
and from my phone as well?
Well, exactly. You will be able to access the lab page through a PC, through a phone, through a tablet, and you will have access of it during the cycles, but also when you're at the office, for example. And you can have access also to the full tab report, so it means that you will have access to the all reports since the installation of the machine, because these cannot be modified, cannot be deleted, and this is a good advantage. One last thing, a good thing if you want to use it on several devices, it does not require any specific software installation or whatever, so you can have access very quickly to all the history of your MEDIAWEL and the ongoing cycles.
Okay. So with this tool, as you said, we have access to the full reports, but how many cycles can we keep on the MEDIAWEL?
Well, in the MEDIAWEL you can have up to 10,000 cycles actually.
Okay, great. So we will talk now about another step, which is not the funniest one, but still very important. And someone has a question about it, so it's the good moment. It's like when you cook, there is always some dishes to do. So what is it about with the MEDIAWEL? How do you clean the device after using it?
Well, indeed, it's not the funniest part of the job, and this is why we made it as easy as possible. So here the vessel is integrated inside the machine, and it's a choice because otherwise it would have been some kind of bowl that you would have to take out to a sink to rinse, and I can't imagine handling that. So here the vessel is integrated, and under the machine you have access to a trapdoor that you're going to see, under which you can put a bowl, a large bowl, just under the vessel. Then you will remove all the accessories from the inside of the vessel, and the liquid will go down naturally through the shape of the funnel that the vessel has. So very easy to clean.
Actually it's just like a sink.
It's a very good analogy indeed, and particularly because the very last part you saw in the vessel is like a draining plug. So like in a sink, you just need to pop it out and the liquid will go down. There is no electronical management that could break in time, and also this draining plug is inside the vessel. It means that it will be sterilized at each cycle, avoiding any contamination issues.
Okay. We just saw on the video displayed, just before the cleaning, we saw a tiny amount of media inside the vessel. What is it exactly?
Oh yes, this is actually when you finish the distribution. So once the media is prepared, then you do the distribution through a peristaltic pump, a petri dish filler, whatever. And then you always have an amount of remaining media that could not be sucked by the pump. And here, thanks to the shape of the funnel, again, this amount is very low, and we have around 100 ml only.
Okay, thank you, Nastasia. If all the steps we have seen so far are so simple, it's because the device has been well programmed. We will see now how to program the device, but just before that, we will see together how some users have adopted the automation to make their media. Let's watch this together and see you in a few minutes. Welcome to sunny Scotland. We've been invited by ENO Laboratories to visit their culture media production. Let's go!
Good afternoon. I'm Virginia Lucy, owner and managing director of ENO Laboratories in Bonnybridge in central Scotland. We manufacture culture media and now some virus transport medium as well on the back of COVID, and we export throughout the world as well as Europe and our clinical within here, the UK. Manufacturing sites. This site this afternoon is our original factory where we've grown from nothing to 20 million plates. So very, very successful, very high quality. And in order to continually improve on the smaller volume ranges through Don Whitley, we've invested in some new preparator sterilizers, which you'll see this afternoon.
Hi, my name's Stuart Gibson. I'm the Technical Development Manager for E&O Laboratories, and I'd like to spend a little bit of time this afternoon just to talk about our new preparators, the MEDIAWEL 30s from Alliance Bio Expertise. We purchased these machines through Don Whitley. We've worked with Don Whitley on a number of projects, including this one. We now have 5 of these preparators. The machines themselves allow us flexibility in terms of their movability, their ability to be moved from one location to another, so we can change locations with them. It gives us the flexibility of size of batch, anywhere from around 2.5 litres up to about 30 litres at a time. We basically run the machines 3 or 4 times a day, making 30 litre batches, but it also gives us the opportunity to manufacture very small scale, such as R&D batches or pilot scale batches. The thing we like most about the control of the machines is that it allows us to control temperature and temperature profile very closely, and it gives us a very accurate and very detailed look at what the temperature profile looks like. We manufacture media for clinical labs, for food labs, for pharmaceutical labs, and these all require very careful control of how the media is manufactured. But not only that, they require us to provide a paper trail, a manufacturing trail with complete visibility from raw materials right the way through manufacture to the final product. And these machines allow us to download the temperature profiles that each of the media batches has been through, so we can store that with the other information that we get about the batch, such as its productivity and sensitivity. Okay, these are the other 3 MEDIAWEL 30s that we have in various stages of preparation this afternoon. One of the real advantages that we get from the machine as well is its ease of ability to add supplements and to very carefully control the stirring and mixing of the batch itself. Additionally, we have to dispense the media. And one of the really good things about this is that it's easy to set up the dispensing of the machine. It's easy to pump the media from the machine, and you get a really good batch return as far as the amount of media you get out. We're typically losing perhaps 100 mils or less for every batch that we do, which is due to the excellent design and the shape of the vessel on the inside of the machine.
Our ambition is to become the #1 supplier of culture media within the UK, and through a tremendous team of over 150 people, we are now champing at the bit to bring some new products to market now that the COVID is finally put to bed. Thank you.
So thanks a lot to E&O based in Scotland for this really great testimonial. E&O is one of the media manufacturers around the world who trust us to use our equipment in their manufacturing process. We also work with many manufacturers around the world, like Oxoid in UK, Freelabo in Portugal, Biolab in Hungary, also Dr. Plate in Taiwan. I know they are watching us right now, so we can say hello to them. We also work with other manufacturers based in many countries like Brazil, Colombia, Greece, Romania, Morocco, Spain, etc. So once again, really thank you to you for your trust. So now, as we said, we will talk about programmation, Anastasia. So let's go back to the MEDIAWEL, and if I am a user and I want to create a new program, what should I do?
So in this case, and it's completely possible, of course, we'll go back to the touchscreen here. So we were in cycle menu program, but under it you have parameters here, which shows exactly the same list, programs, users, and so on. And this is where you will be able to edit the list of programs and create a new one. So let's select the next available position and start the programmation. Again, a series of questions and answers, and the first one here being the name of the program. So let's say, I don't know, MRS, for example. Okay, MRS. Then the next question is the number of steps, and the concept of step is very important. If you go for a classical media, for example, you have two steps. The first one is you hit up to sterilization step, and then you go down to distribution step. Then, and it was one of the questions before, you can have a third step for addition. So I'm thinking about people in the clinical sectors who need to add blood or antibiotics, for example. You will be at sterilization step, go down to addition step, and then go down to distribution step. The fourth possible one is for specific media that after addition need to be hit up a little bit more to ensure a good mixing of the supplements. So in that case, just after the addition step, you will go up to the fourth step and then go back to distribution step. So here with MRS, we are on a simple media that only requires two steps, sterilization, distribution. So we will keep on the values that are already pre-filled. Then he asks you the name of the first step. Usually the first step is always sterilization. And in the MEDIAWEL you will always see these pre-filled informations that are good for like 95% of the case in order to guide you through the programmation. So we can keep sterilization here. Then it asks the temperature of the step. So because we are on sterilization 1, we'll go for 121. But you can notice that here you can go up to 123 if needed, according to your different protocols. Then you have the duration of the step. So usually 121 degrees during 15 minutes that you can also adjust if necessary. And then it will ask for the speed of during and before the step, so it means the speed of the steering system. Again, you have pre-filled information that goes okay for 95% of the media, otherwise we can adjust. But here we will keep on with the one we have here. Then second step will be the distribution. The name is already available. It will ask me the temperature of the distribution. So very usually, it depends on the media, but usually we see with the media preparator a temperature distribution at 42 because thanks to the mixing system and the heating system, the heat is kept during the whole distribution process. So you can distribute directly as close as possible from the solidification point. So here we can keep 42. And then you can also indicate the time you want the distribution step to finish, to last, sorry, my bad. So it can be whether infinite or a specific time.
Okay.
Then you have the possibility to add an alarm or a message just before the step that is concerned.
What is it for, this message?
Well, this message is very interesting for media where you need some addition, like blood agar, for example. If you need to do blood addition, you will be able to put an alarm just before this step and to write the name you want. So it could be, please add blood. Then at that moment, when it's ready to go to the addition step, the machine will stop, will display this message as you see here, and will wait for you to add the blood and to acknowledge the message before continuing its cycle.
Okay.
So here we won't require it. Then again, we have the steering speed during and before the step. So we'll keep on with the basic ones. And here it is, the program is done, and you have here a recap of the name, the different steps, their names, temperatures, times, and so on.
Okay. So about the addition, in this configuration, can you show us how to add a supplement?
Yes, sure, and this is for you. So it is actually located at the top of the vessel, just under this lid.
Okay.
Here you will see two different caps. The small one is actually for the distribution systems. You can have a peristaltic pump, you can have a petri dish filler, you can also have a tube filler, for example. This is where you will plug the tubing that is delivered with a distribution machine. It means that the MEDIAWEL can be connected to any kind of distribution machines. Here in the example, we see the petri dish filler, the DistriWell, who will do the distribution into the petri dishes. Then, on the top, we have a second cap, a bigger one. And this bigger cap is actually for the addition of media. So, the idea, not media, supplement, sorry. The idea is to remain in aseptic conditions, to open the flask and the preparator at the very last time to ensure that the media inside stays sterile.
Okay, thank you, Nastasia. Earlier, when we were talking about traceability, we saw like user information on the PDF. Can we also program different users in the machine?
Yeah, of course, the same way you have access to the list of programs, you also have access to the list of users. So we will go back to the screen. I open it so you can see it properly. And just under programs here, you have access to users. So here we already have two users that are created. And if I go on the next available position, I will be able to have a new one, basically, like Sam, for example, up. And some will appear directly into the list of users in the end. So you will be able to select it. You remember when we started the cycle, we were able to select the user, so he will appear in this list.
Okay. We have seen other option on the screen. Can you explain what is it exactly?
Yeah, the other options you just saw were actually developed for the pharmaceutical industries, where they have specific processes for to give specific process profiles and access to these profiles through the machine. So if I select the next available position and go in, up, we will see here all the information. So you can put the name, of course. You can give, sorry, I clicked on the wrong up. So you can see the operator, the password that you would give him, a personal one, and then you have here the different access, the different profiles you can connect the user with. So if you go for operator, the user will only have access to the cycle menu. If you go for the metrologist profile, you will have access to the cycle and the metrology menu. And if you go for the admin, you will have access to all the menus here with no restriction. And once you have set up all the profiles to all the users, you will of course have an administrator. And here, for example, we have an admin whose name is Bob, actually. And if you go into access rights, your admin, Bob, will be able to activate these access rights. So here I put Bob's password. We go in, we will activate the access rights. And then if I go on another menu, like on a to launch a cycle, for example, I will be automatically redirected to this screen here, which asks me to put my ID and my password to see if I am authorized to do the action I'm trying to do.
Okay. Thank you, Nastasia. So last question on this topic. Do we need to do the programmation every day?
No, of course, Sylvain. A program, once it's saved, it's saved. Of course, it can be deleted or it can be modified if necessary. But on a daily routine, all you have to do is to select the right program and start it as we did at the beginning of this live.
Okay. Just one short break. We have a question about the equipment. With this equipment, biological indicators are not required, as is required by an autoclave. How are they replaced?
So when you prepare the media with the media preparators, you have kind of the same test to perform as with the autoclave. First, you will perform the pH tests before starting the cycle, and at the end of the cycle, you will perform the same fertility and sterility test to be able to release the batch to your customer or to your analysis.
Okay. We have a lot of questions, but there is also Aurélien, which is here in the chat box. So thanks, Aurélien, to answer the questions in live. Another short break. Subscriber counter. We just need 2 more subscribers to succeed the challenge. So keep on. It's very close now, and yes, now we have seen together all the advantages of the MEDIAWEL. But I would like to talk about one important thing now, which is the capacity. What are the models available now?
So here in front of us we have the MEDIAWEL 30. The MEDIAWEL 30 will be able to go from 2.5 liters to 30 liters. Then we have here the little brother, the MEDIAWEL 10, which goes from 1 liter to 10 liters actually.
This one is on the bench.
Yeah.
How can we move it if needed?
Okay, so basic configuration is benchtop, but you can add an option, an accessory. It's a cart, which is made with the same large wheels as for the M30, the MEDIAWEL 30, in order to make it easy to roll. The idea is that when you don't use it, or when you're doing a cycle, you can save space by putting it under the bench, and then roll it out to the distribution room to perform the distribution.
Okay, great. And what are the differences in terms of specification, except for the capacity, of course?
I think we have the...
The challenge is, yes, it's succeed, so well done,
bravo!
And thanks a lot for supporting the YouTube channel, thanks. So yeah, what are the differences in terms of specification, except for the capacity?
Well, actually, there are not so many because between these models, we have the same advantages. So we have the same touchscreen with the same menu, the same way, intuitivity to go to different menu. We have the same traceability features as well. I'm thinking about the USB key, the lab page, the PDF reports. And of course, we have at the end of the media preparation the same quality of media.
And that's a good thing. As you know, we also talked about a new model for this online session, and I think it's now time to discover it. It's time to do the product reveal. You also had the opportunity to play a game during this registration session. Let's see in video what you can win with this game, and see you in a few seconds.
Est-ce que c'est gramme positif?
C'est quoi gramme positif?
Gramme positif, c'est quand c'est violet.
Est-ce qu'il a des petites pattes?
Alors oui, il a 3 flagelles.
Oui.
So some of you already know it, I'm pretty sure. It's the Bacteki game. So actually it's the microbiological version of the Guess Who game, but with bacteria. So to win this game, you had to find the size, the exact size of the new model of media preparator, which is the MEDIAWEL 50. So Nastasia, it's time to do the product reveal. Where is this device, the MEDIAWEL 50? So we can check the size.
But Sylvain is just there.
No, this one is the MEDIAWEL 30. We talked about
Look,
it.
Sylvain, look here.
Okay, okay. So you just need to put a new sticker on it, and it's a new device?
Well, it would be great if it was that easy, but of course not. When we started the development, we knew that the main challenge in the lab today is the space management and particularly how to save space. So it was one of the main goals, it was to put a larger vessel in exactly the same body as the MEDIAWEL 30. And this is what we did, it is bigger in the inside. We have a vessel that is actually 17 centimeters deeper.
Okay, so interesting. The MEDIAWEL 50 takes all the benefit and all the experience made on the MEDIAWEL 30.
Exactly. Today we have a lot of MEDIAWEL 30 that are running through the world thanks to our distributors. And the MEDIAWEL 50 is like the natural evolution of the MEDIAWEL 30. So it has the same advantages as we saw up to now. It has the same fast performances because you will perform a 30-liter a batch in the same time as a 50-liter batch. And it also has the same features such as an easy handling, for example, such as the MEDIAWEL 30.
Okay. So let's go back to the game. We received a lot of answers, but there is one person who found the exact size of the MEDIAWEL 50, and it's Carmen Esteba from Spain. So well done to you and bravo.
Bravo!
You win the Backtechie game. So you will be able to play it at work or at home as you want. But yeah, well done to you. So yeah, the size, sorry. The exact size was 46.1 cubic decimeters. So it's just actually 2 centimeters higher than the MEDIAWEL 30.
Yes, you have 2 more centimeters for 20 liters more, and actually the MEDIAWEL 50 can prepare media from 5 liters to 50 liters.
We have one interesting question just coming right now. How do I wash the MEDIAWEL 50?
Exactly the same way as the MEDIAWEL 30. You have the access with a bowl under the vessel. You will have the same parts inside to remove, and it's the same shape. It's still a funnel, so the liquid will go down inside the bowl and you can remove it. We also have some customer who has water evacuation directly into the ground, so they just place the MEDIAWEL over this evacuation, open it like the sink, you remember, and everything will go down directly.
Okay, great. Thank you, Nastasia. So this live is coming to the end. If you still have some questions, you have few seconds. Otherwise, you can also ask your questions through our website, alliancebioexpertise.com. Our international team is of course available to answer it at any time. And I want to precise that this room is also available at any time for you if you want a private session to discuss about our solutions.
Yes, I'd like to add that here we really have all our equipment. We talked today about media preparation, but there is a lot more to say about media distribution with petri dish filler, with tube fillers, even peristaltic pump. And I'd like also to highlight a product we released a few weeks ago, which has been designed especially for the food industry. It's the MEDIAWEL XL. So it's a large volume gravimetric diluter, and it's the perfect combo with the MEDIAWEL 30 and the MEDIAWEL 50 to achieve a 375 grams dilution 1:10 in 36 seconds when current solutions takes around 2 or 3 minutes.
Thanks, Nastasia. So we will end this session with a video. It's the first episode of our series In My Lab, which is kind of a recap of this video, and you can find this video on our YouTube channel as well, and you will be able to see the replay of this session, of course, on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Nastasia.
Thank you, Sylvain.
And
thank you, everyone.
See you. No, yeah, sorry. Questions. We will see if there are more questions. Yeah, can we see inside the MEDIAWEL 50?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Where is the camera? Up. So I do have an extra up tubing for the water evacuation, but if you give me the time to move up. Do you see? Okay. So you have the sampling system as well, here. You also have the same magnetic stirrer, and at the bottom you will also have the draining plug that we saw in the video earlier.
Actually, it's really the same as the MEDIAWEL 30,
Yeah.
but deeper. Great. And what is the minimum volume to prepare in the MEDIAWEL 50?
In the MEDIAWEL 50, it's actually 5 liters, so you can go from 5 to 50 liters.
Okay. I think we are okay with questions. So once again, if you still have some questions, Aurélien Blanchard is available all the afternoon, all the day to answer your questions. So really don't hesitate to send them. So it's time to end this session. Thank you very much for your time, and
Thank you.
thanks again for your patience because of the delay start. Thank you, and see you soon for another online session. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bonjour à tous et bienvenue dans mon labo. Aujourd'hui, on va parler ensemble de la fabrication des milieux de culture. Mais avant ça, qu'est-ce que le milieu de culture ?
Un milieu de culture est un support qui permet la culture de cellules, de bactéries, de levures, de moisissures afin de permettre leur étude. En principe, les cellules trouvent dans ce milieu des composants indispensables pour leur multiplication en grand nombre. En d'autres termes, c'est ce qui va permettre de les faire proliférer.
Bon, je crois que si on est ici, c'est qu'on sait tous ce qu'est le milieu de culture. Il existe 2 méthodes pour les laboratoires de fabriquer du milieu de culture, la méthode manuelle et la méthode automatisée. Nous allons tout de suite confronter ces 2 méthodes qui utilisent 2 appareils différents, l'autoclave et le préparateur de milieu. Avec la méthode manuelle, vous serez amené à réaliser plusieurs opérations, ce qui augmentera le risque d'obtenir des variations entre vos flacons. Vous allez devoir réaliser une pesée pour chacun de vos contenants. Une bouteille, 2 bouteilles, 3 bouteilles. Ensuite, vous allez devoir remplir vos bouteilles du volume d'eau désiré. Dans notre cas, on est sur des bouteilles d'1 litre. Une bouteille, 2 bouteilles, 3 bouteilles. Ensuite, une agitation sera nécessaire avant de passer à l'étape de la stérilisation. À noter qu'il faudra également porter le milieu à ébullition. Avec la méthode automatisée, une pesée suffit pour un batch complet allant de 1 à 50 litres, voire plus. Comme on vient juste de le voir, avec un autoclave, la préparation en amont nécessite déjà un certain temps. Si en plus de ça, on ajoute la durée d'un cycle complet, pouvant aller jusqu'à 2 heures, je vous cache pas que ça fait un peu long. Alors qu'avec un autopréparateur, les cycles complets ne dureront que de 50 à 90 minutes selon le volume que vous avez décidé de préparer. Quoi de plus important qu'un milieu parfaitement homogène ? Le système d'agitation d'un autopréparateur vous permet d'avoir un milieu qui a la même consistance et la même température dans l'ensemble de la cuve, à la différence d'un autoclave qui lui n'a pas d'agitation. De plus, la température des flacons peut varier de plus de 2 degrés en fonction de leur position à l'intérieur du panier. Sur les autoclaves, il n'existe pas de système de refroidissement actif. L'ouverture du couvercle se fait à chaud. Les autopréparateurs, quant à eux, possèdent un système de refroidissement vous permettant de distribuer votre milieu à la bonne température. Tiens d'ailleurs, qu'en est-il de la distribution ? Une fois encore, avec l'autoclave, il faudra vous servir de vos petites mains pour distribuer votre milieu dans vos contenants. Alors qu'avec un préparateur, couplé à un distributeur automatisé, la seule chose dont vous aurez besoin, c'est d'un fauteuil pour regarder vos boîtes de pétri se remplir.
Mais qu'est-ce que c'est que ce truc là ? T'as pas des colonies à compter plutôt là ? Ouais, j'arrive. Bon, je vais peut-être y aller. À bientôt.